in their 80s or they're retiring. You know, they're passing the torch over to guys, and they're saying, hey, this guy, you know, you can trust this guy. And you just try to build it. It's all about relationships. That's what it is. It's all about relationships. And I've had this area for that long, and that's been very beneficial.
James Coley obviously recruits down there as well. How do you guys go about splitting that up? You do certain areas or high schools, or how do you do that?
I'll have Broward County. He'll have West Palm Beach County, most of it, and then we split up Dade. And we kind of did that by schools that he knows better, coaches that I know. We'll kind of pick and choose. We'll double team, and we'll be in some situations. We'll be in there together. But that's kind of how we did it.
How did you end up recruiting that area? How did it get started for you?
I was a graduate assistant coach at the University of Miami in 1990 and 91. And my first full-time job came from there at Cincinnati. And they wanted a South Florida recruiter. So I sold them that I could get that done, and they hired me and never looked back. Since then, that's wherever I went. When I was at Idaho State, when I was at Cincinnati, when I was at Ole Miss, that's been my area. I've had it ever since. I don't know where, if I had somebody put me on a plane and sent me somewhere else, I'd be in bad trouble. Thank God for the Garmins, and Hurts never lost.
Coach, if we can go back to the foundation real quick, I mean, your thoughts on the whole thing. You're definitely a family man for everything that you've done for the foundation and other families. What is it like to work with Jimbo, who's also a pretty big family man, and then also to follow that? What kind of team bonding is this? You said you had players come out to galas and whatnot. Can you talk a little bit more?
Well, that was one of the other decisions why I came to Florida State University, because all the research I had done on Jimbo, that he is a family man, that it is important, and there is no question that it is important to him, and it's important to me. God's first in my life, my family's second, and Florida State is third, and I've got a great passion for all three. And those are the type of people I want to be around. So my daughters, all they know is football. All they know is me being a football coach, and I want them to be able to come to practice. I want them to be able to come to see me in the office, because there's times during the season you just don't see them. And so that was critical. Me being here and getting a long-term contract and being able to put my roots in the ground so the Sidney Gran Foundation can get going again. And those were all things that were important in my life, because my daughter's 15 and I want to see her graduate from a place that she stays at, you know, her sophomore, junior, and senior year. So all those things were very important to making that decision, and Jimbo being a family guy, you know. The gala part of it is just, you know, when you know the story, you know, my daughter had just about a week or 2 weeks to live, and she lived short of 6 years. So she was a miracle. She changed my life, in just in brief. And she put a different perspective on this football game. You know, it used to be my God, and it's not anymore. She changed my life, basically. And so my players got to see that. Those guys got to watch me change. And, you know, you can still be a good football coach and not cuss a kid every day, and not, you know, there's just different philosophies, okay? I used to be that guy, you know, and now I'm not, and it still works. So they got to see that. It was important for them, and, you know, they're good people, and so that, you know, they want to support it. And hopefully that'll happen here too, you know.
Your family here now?
Family's here now. In school. They got here in January. You know, when we make these moves, my family and I, we always talk about it, that if this happens and we have a transition, we can't go till May. 6 months being apart, that's not us. So it's hard. That transition's hard. Now you yank them out of school and you put them in and you say, here you go. But I think in the long run it works out. They're pretty well grounded, and so it's a little stressful.
What is your and your family's first impressions of Tallahassee?
You know, a lot like Auburn. You know, it really is. It's a lot like Auburn, maybe a little bit bigger and spread out, but I love it. You know, I love the woods and the country, and that kind of is the feel that I have of it so far. So my family, they're excited about it.
What's about all the Auburn ties with the staff, you think?
You know, it's really weird. You know, you got Damien, you got Jimbo, you got Trickett. Obviously, those guys have been together, and you know, that's how Jimbo and I kind of first started going against each other, and so, I don't know, it's weird how that happens. That circle, that coaching circle, and that fraternity, you know.
You mentioned Coach Trickett. Just what are your first impressions of the offensive line that he's put together? Because obviously that's very important for the running game.
It is. I'm excited about coaching with Rick. I've known him for a long time, just through the coaching profession, know him being an offense. I think he's one of the best in the country at what he does. His technique, what he teaches, and so I'm excited to get together with him. I think it's going to be good. You know, he likes to get after it, and I do too, and so we both want the same things, and so I think it's going to be, I think it'll be a good marriage.